We know that student choice leads to increased engagement, but student choice is about more than just menu options. It's about empowerment. So here are 10 ways to empower your students with choice. Let students choose their own route. Let them decide which strategies they want to use. Let students choose the materials and the resources. Let students choose the topics or themes based upon what they geek out about. Let them ask questions based upon their own sense of wonder. Let students choose the format for their projects. Let them choose the scaffolding. If you provide the tutorials, they can decide when and how to use them. Let them work at their own pace. Let students engage in self-assessment. Let them choose the audience for their creative work. This could be local or global. Let students manage their projects, breaking down tasks and setting deadlines. A little nuance here. Teachers still need to make decisions. They have the expertise and wisdom that students need. But when teachers incorporate choice, students grow into the lifelong learners we know that they can be.
Hi, I'm Sandy Ernst, and I teach kindergarten at Cottonwood Point Elementary. I really enjoy using student voice and choice in my classroom, but in order to do that well, I think it's very important to make sure you have a good, strong classroom culture that is based on trust. We always focus on family and passions. In our morning meetings, we always share different things that we're interested in, and I use those to collaborate with our library and media specialist to gain more resources and information in order for my students to use those in their coursework. So my favorite thing with student voice and choice is our writer's workshop, and I really enjoy doing that with student voice and choice. I provide them mini lessons on different things they can do. They are authors and illustrators in our classroom, and they really take that as a challenge to do the very best that they can. And we always have, they're very proud of their writing, and we have sharing time where they get to share with their friends what they have done or what they have explored. I provide them with the ideas that they can use, and they get to pick and choose what they use and the materials that they do to be authors and illustrators. So it's really fun to see them excited about writing, excited about learning, and it's all because of the ideas that they get to write about what they want and explore what they want in their writing. So I've really seen an increase in their interest and an increase in their final product, and it's really because they get to do what interests them.
So I've given them a lot of opportunities for choice, especially in our units at the beginning of this year. I created a Canvas module for them to where they took a pretest, and they took their own results from that pretest, created a list of learning targets, and from that list of learning targets, it was very differentiated. All the kids were working on different learning targets at the same time, and they were given resources through Canvas, videos, worksheets, AFLs, and they could sign up for mini lessons with me if they wanted it. And once they felt comfortable, and they chose when they took the assessment. So all the kids were taking the assessment at different times. And once they were finished with the assessment, they moved on to applying it to something that they were interested in. So they'd make a Google slide presentation showing how they add fractions in the real world to something that applies to them. So if they're interested in baking, it was funny how with fractions we had a lot of bakers adding the fractions of the ingredients, and then they'd have their peers gallery walk and work on those Google slides. And after those units in the beginning of the year, I've noticed a growth in confidence. The kids know each other on a personal level better. They feel comfortable answering questions and taking risks and making mistakes. And to have a successful classroom, you have to be able to have those kids feel like they have voice in here and they have some choice. And
to redesign that for an on-level kid who typically doesn't have as long of a leash in most classes, and give them a more authentic publishing target and a more authentic task to perform that they could then take pride in and take with them after the class is over.
Yeah, and we've seen like a little bit of buy-in from the kids in a looser kind of a structure where students had choice to choose explorers that we were linking with another book. So in those successes that came from them having choice and getting excited about somebody that they were researching, it seemed like a good time to fit in something that was even more authentic, which was look in your community and find someone that really inspires you. And then hopefully we could leverage that buy-in into a larger group project that was, pretty robust and was asking a lot, like you said, from our on-level sophomore.
Who's not always asked for a lot.
Right.
I think it's interesting too that two of the things that came out of the project that I'm particularly proud of is, number one, even the worst project. Okay, not everybody knocked it out of the park, just like not everybody knocks a paper out of the park, but they for sure spent a goodly part of a quarter with someone who's contributing back to the community or somebody who's doing something to make the world better around them. So they ultimately surrounded themselves with 10 or 15 role models that they were dealing with and doing these movies on. That alone was kind of inspiring, hopefully to them in a very authentic sense. And a lot of them met their heroes. Their heroes are living and breathing and there. And the other thing is the collaboration. If the number one skill that our kids are going to need out in the workplace is collaboration, which isn't really in anyone's backyard curriculum-wise, but is in everyone's backyard curriculum-wise, that is, I think you would say, and I would say, that's the hardest part, is managing groups and making sure the groups are getting along and everybody's contributing, but that was probably the best part and the skill that I think they left that project knowing how to contribute to a group, knowing how to find their own strengths, knowing who to call on it when they have weaknesses, those kinds of things.
I think ironically that's the scary stuff too for a regular classroom teacher, turning over all of that choice